morning, everybody. Happy October 30th. It is the last day of recording for Vlogtober. Again, I will still definitely be back with more vlogs the rest of this year, but today is the last day of Vlogtober, so by the time this goes up, it's the last beautiful day of October. As my best friend told me this morning, it'll always be October in our hearts. I love it. So I'm actually a little short for time this morning. I need to get out the door and get my daughter dressed and finish packing her lunch, but I spent a little extra time this morning getting ready because I was practicing my potential wedding makeup. So yesterday I went to the cosmetics store and picked up a few things. I got an eyeshadow palette that I've always wanted. I thought this might be a nice occasion to finally buy it, and so I played with it and I really like it. And then I topped it with a little bit of a liquid shimmer. And so this soft pink kind of smoky eye is probably sort of what I'll go with in the soft morning natural light. It might look a little bit washed out, but I think at the wedding this could look really pretty. I'm still trying out different lipsticks. This might not be the winner. I don't know if it's the shade of my actual lips, but every lipstick I ever put on that is a particular color in the bottle or on my hand changes colors completely on my lips, and I think it's because I have highly pigmented lips. But this is supposed to be kind of a soft pink, and it turns almost electric as soon as I put it on. I want a pink sort of to mimic my eyeshadow, but I don't think I own one, so I'm gonna have to play with all of my lipsticks and figure that out. But anyway, so I was practicing wedding makeup, wedding earrings. Obviously I haven't done my hair. And the dress is a beautiful green, but I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, so that's that. I do have on my Primrose Slipover. I've worn this, I think I wore this earlier this month. Right now I have it over this blush pink blouse, and then I have black and white striped pants. So that's my fun outfit for today. I guess I'm gonna head inside and wrap up so that we can get going for the day. There's a new Monstera leaf opening up. These Monsteras are so big. They don't, yes baby, they don't make a whole lot of new leaves these days. I've only ever seen one this big when I was in Jamaica and it was growing wildly. Yes baby, she's coming to give me a running hug. Sitting on the floor in the main yarn room. I say main yarn room, in the main entrance of the shop. My daughter decided to set me up here with all of the minis that I have to wind. When we first got to the shop, she grabbed all of them and brought them in here, so I thankfully have this mostly empty cart, which is where you're sitting right now, and I've just been sitting here winding up mini skeins. This is the last color for the pop art mini skein bundles, and so once these are done I have to package them and put their labels on, and then these will be ready. And then I think all I have left to do in terms of yarn, I have to skein and label the yarns that I dyed yesterday. I need to go check if those are dry, and if they're not, I can always do it tomorrow too when I'm packing up the store. But then I also have to finish skeining all of the festival colorways, which I have decided to call Alabama Copper. And I've gotten started on that. And then of course I need to label those. And then I think I'm done with yarn, which is great. I have been looking at and touching so much yarn over these past several months, and so I'm a little excited to be caught up and for a brief time period done with creating yarn. I'm getting really excited for the festival now that I'm feeling more caught up. I just realized I don't know what is going on here, but I have a weird little, one of these yarns is tied around the other. I guess I should pause and sort this out. I'm not kidding when I say that my phone just started recording me on its own. I think the camera was still on, and it has this smart gesturing technology where if I put my hand up and do this, it will take a photo, and I think that can start the camera as well. But what's weird is I didn't do that. I was messing with this yarn, so it seems to have just done that on its own. So I'm gonna turn this back off. I finally have in a new shipment of Eucalan and needles. I don't think I've ordered any of this for the past several months. You know, the summertime sales always kind of slow down. Of course, not as many people are crafting or knitting, at least in my area, as regularly. So with sales having picked up quite a bit, I ordered, what's this? This looks, oh, interesting. Okay. Anyway, I finally reordered, and I just found that I forgot they were doing this, but Knitter's Pride is now Knitpro, and they have repackaged their crochet hooks. So this is the new packaging, and this is the old packaging. So that's awesome. They moved to a cardboard box. Now we don't have all these little plastic bags. That's great. Yeah, it's been a while since I ordered. So anyway, I have a restock of a bunch of these things, and as you can imagine, this is a very tedious product, a very tedious shipment to put out. There's lots of little things that I have to hand price and update my inventory, but I am glad that these are all here. After being out of them for so long, I have finally restocked these little Tams Go scissors. They are the most incredible little scissors to throw in your project bag. They have sheaths, so it protects their point because they are actually quite sharp. But I really like these ones, so I'm glad to finally have them back. It took a tremendously long time, but I did finish getting out all of the inventory for the needles, and now I'm going to finally put these mini skein bundles together, and then I'm going to work on the special show colorway yarn. So I'm putting labels on all of the Alabama Fiber Festival colorways. I do have the yarns that I dyed yesterday. I went and checked. A few of them are dry, some of them are still kind of damp, so I rearranged things so that they had a little bit more space to kind of spread out and hopefully dry sooner rather than later. I think I'll probably have to label those tomorrow morning, which is totally fine. I'll just go ahead and get the labels all ready so that they're nice and easy in the morning to finish up. I'm doing all of the last minute things I need to do to prepare for the show, like adding the new inventory to my website, which is very slow because I recently downgraded my internet at the shop, and yeah, I'm spending a lot less money, but it's a bit of a nightmare when it comes to updating my website at all. So I am very slowly working my way through this. I have to add all the listings and the pictures and all the things. So that's what I'm working on. Here's one of today's orders. We've got 2 balls of We Are Knitters, the petite wool. This is the dusty pink colorway, which is my absolute favorite. So I'm excited that this is going off to somebody to hopefully turn into a gorgeous project. Guess I'm saying one last Vlogtober farewell from Paper Crane Yarns from the shop. I will still record a little bit tonight, but I'm about to head home. Actually, I'm heading to the post office, and then we are heading home. The saga continues. Okay, I just got home. I didn't just get home. I had to do a couple things outside, helping Jason. He's starting on actually building the fence now. He had to dig out all the old posts, dig those up. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but anyway, I have decided, since today is the last day of filming these vlogs and basically the end of October, I've decided since today is basically the last day of October, I'm going to make a pumpkin pie. Our kitchen is a big mess. Our house is a big mess. Today starts the really busy weekend already. So I thought, let me just take a minute and make us something nice. I'll make us a pumpkin pie, and yeah, I think that'll be a nice little treat for the crazy weekend that we have coming up. So I'm going to make, I'm just gonna make a pumpkin pie. I sewed this pumpkin apron several years ago. It's got like pumpkins and black frilly lace. I think it's super cute. There's a functional pocket down at the waist. And anyway, I threw this on so that I can have my pumpkin baking attire while I make this pumpkin pie. I am baking by pumpkin candlelight. Okay, so I've got a can of pumpkin puree. I've got a can of coconut milk, and I'm going to do this the easy way and put it in my blender. Ready to go in the oven. It's definitely the world's easiest pumpkin pie recipe, since every vital ingredient I used came from a can. Anything difficult, I didn't have to process a pumpkin. I just threw in a can of pumpkin. It's a very simple recipe. It's basically just a can of pumpkin, a can of full-fat coconut milk, a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, about a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, a pinch of salt, some vanilla, and then spices to taste. We like a lot of spice, so I just dump in a bunch of spices, and I add a little bit of ginger to mine. So mine is, you know, it's got a slight kick to it, which I like. So pumpkin pie is in the oven. I actually think I might just, while I'm at it, go ahead and make a pumpkin soup for dinner. That's probably a little overkill, but I already have the blender out, and why not? Since I am having a pumpkin themed dinner tonight, I'm going to have a pumpkin ale. Instead of pumpkin soup, I decided we are going to have acorn squash soup. I forgot I had these over here because the table was in disarray for a few days and we didn't have time to fix it up. So I forgot there was a whole pile of delicious food sitting over there, and I just picked these up. So I want to make a soup out of these. I'm going to roast them and then hopefully make a delicious soup. I've made plenty of pumpkin soups, but never acorn squash. So we'll see how this goes. I just tried to cut the squash and it was physically impossible, so I had to go retrieve Jason from outside to come cut them for me. Just a little chat while I'm waiting for everything to kind of cook in the oven. I just finished prepping the vegetables, like chopping the vegetables that are going to go in the acorn squash soup. Of course I have to wait for those to be done roasting, and then I have to scoop out the insides. But since I'm kind of recording the last of the Vlogtober videos today, I just kind of wanted to make sure that I had a moment to say thank you again for joining me this year. It was a lot of fun, and it's so interesting to have this way of sort of journaling each day. It's really fascinating because it helps me to really consider each day. I'm somebody who, I love to write, but I don't like to journal. I don't like to really account for myself in that way, but I found that this video format really helps. So in a way, it feels like I'm journaling, and that is really helpful for me. It has helped me this month to really think deeply about a lot of different things and aspects of my life, and what a wild ride this month has been. It started in, you know, frantic show prep for SAF, and then the natural disaster, and then all of the aftermath. And then you guys were absolutely incredible and honestly saved the day and saved the business in a lot of ways. So that I will never forget. This is going to be like a record kind of year for me in thinking about the community that is so clearly out there supporting me. It's just absolutely incredible. And then there's been lots of very sweet moments this month too. My daughter has learned a whole ton of words. It was actually when I was filming Vlogtober this time last year that she learned how to walk. So it's just beautiful to be able to document her life in this way, and just to see her grow up, and for you guys to see her grow up even from a distance. It's just beautiful to be able to share her life, and to have this record keeping aspect of everything. So I definitely don't want the gratitude to slip away. I am so excessively grateful to all of you for your support with the SAF situation and just in general. Your comments are absolutely beautiful, and I'm gonna go back and read them time and time again. And these past, I think for the past probably 2 weeks, I really have not been able to sit down and respond, but I have been reading every morning after I post the video. My videos have been scheduled to go live at 9 a.m. Central, and you know, usually in the evenings I sit down and I read the comments that have come in for that day, and they just blow me away. So I am sorry that I have not had the time to respond to everyone. I am still going to go back and do that. And it's funny because it's like I'm mentally responding to what comment you left me. And I've seen some questions come through that I haven't necessarily had a chance to answer, so I will go back and do that. And yeah, but I love your comments. A lot of them have been really interesting, getting to know you guys and what you're doing this time of year, what projects you're working on, and then of course just your amazing kindness is just incredible. So I don't want to harp on that too much because I've already spoken, I think, a lot about that, but I thank you all very much. It has been a remarkable month in terms of crafting. It's like I got done more than I expected to, but not as much as I wanted to all at the same time. But again, isn't that how it's always going to go? I'm sure we all generally feel that way. I feel very accomplished on the one hand, but on the other hand, the list of things that I want to do is so long and I feel like I'll never get to tackle it. But I did produce a whole lot of stuff for the shop, so I'm trying to tell myself, you know, that factors in, and I was productive. I made good food. I made a couple of new garments for my wardrobe and for my daughter, and I've almost finished my husband's sweater. Yeah, so it's been remarkable. And then in a couple of days, we're going to have such a whirlwind of a weekend. It's going to be exhausting, but so much fun. Something for the books for sure. I'm going to remember this weekend forever. I'm very much looking forward to it. Now that I'm, tomorrow, now that we're packing up everything, and then Friday we'll set up, it's all coming so much more quickly. And the thing that I most struggle with when it comes to things like this is the anticipation period. I don't handle that well. I love the actionable period where you're actually doing the thing, but in the moments leading up to the thing, I just don't handle that well at all. It makes me feel very panicky, and I don't feel rested at all, and so I'm starting to feel better, and I'm sure that's coming across. Okay, I've got about 27 minutes left on the oven for the pumpkin pie. I threw in the acorn squash. The oven's only at 350. Normally I would roast something like that at, you know, around 400. I'm just gonna leave it in a little bit longer and then check it. They're not very big squash, and they were kind of soft. They were perfect. They were so easy to scoop out the seeds. So I think it's gonna be delicious. I've chopped some veg like onion, carrots. We had some zucchini in the fridge that were starting to get kind of soft, so I'm gonna throw that in and do a vegetable bouillon base. I think it's gonna be good. I'll probably do some coconut milk to give it a little bit of a fat, and we'll eat it with that bread that I made yesterday that we didn't end up even eating yesterday. But okay, so that's that. I'm thinking about casting on a little cup cozy, like a coffee cup cozy, and so I brought home some yarn from the shop to kind of maybe cast on one of those. There's so little, I think I could probably get it done this evening if I get started. So I might go ahead and pull out the yarn for that. Just in case I don't get a chance to say it again tonight, thank you so much. This has been a beautiful month, and I really appreciate you all being here for it. I end up getting questions. This is the pattern that I'm using. I purchased this pattern when I first started knitting because I wanted to make this little pumpkin cup cozy, and I think I never made one for myself. I made two, one for my mom and one for my sister-in-law, and I made the bats. Looking back on it, they probably weren't very good, but I made them cup cozies. And I finally am going to make myself one. So this is the Autumn Doodle Cup Cozy by Jamie Lomax, and I'm just going to use this as a recipe, but I'll probably use a chart from her Autumn Doodle deck, or I will look through the book and pick one of the motifs out of here. It's such an easy pattern. You could make a million of these, one for every single chart. So I'm just going to have a little look through and decide on what I want to be as my motif. Too. How is it? Yummy? Hey. knit myself one last finished object for October of 2024. Does this look familiar? I knit a tiny pink pumpkin cup cozy for coffee cups to match my pink pumpkin sweater. I'm very excited. I think it's so cute. As soon as I sat down to work on this project, I realized this was the obvious choice. And now I feel extremely silly that I have a matching sweater and coffee cup cozy. But I'm excited to block this and use it and wear my sweater and keep an eye on my Instagram to see a picture of these things together. So there we go. That's my little wrap up for Vlogtober.